not mix well. After a lengthy discussion, Angela and I decided to give up the dogging. It was a mutual decision, really. Well, that's what she'd have you believe. Slightly more mutual on her side, let's say. Well, after 2 failed gangbangs and a categorical no to make her own porn film, then I thought we finally found our niche. Seems like I was flogging a dead fucking horse now. I can't complain, really. Just a few bumps on the road to a successful divorce. Trust me, I've had a few. What's that famous phrase? Behind every great man, there stands a tiny woman with a knife, stabbing him in the fucking back until he dies. Although my current situation was not helped by the fact I'd just changed my job. I had a job, a decent job, safe job, you know. Like I say, I was just getting bored of doing the same shit every single fucking day. I ring people up who really don't want to speak to me, often at the most inopportune moments, mostly while they're having their tea, and try to sell them insurance. Hello, madam. Can I sell you some insurance for your cat, your house, your car, your sister, your mother-in-law, all the fucking... Did you want something insurance? I fucking hate it. So I decided to make a change. I thought, right, I'm going to take charge, which is great, you know. It's amazing, really, but... it's just that what I do now for a living is considered a little bit unsavoury, you might say. Sort of a bit short of normal social guidelines. I sell drugs to kids. And before you get on your soapboxes and start burning my delicate ears with your criticisms, may I say that in my defence, they fucking love them. They don't fucking get enough of them, and it's not just one variety either. I mean, I sell them uppers, downers, inners, outers, droppers, poppers, acid, lethal ketamine to methamphetamine, heroin, coke, back, smack and crack. And that's not just to mention all the different types of weed that I sell as well. There's lemon haze, purple haze, silver haze, Afghan kush, mango kush, Bin Laden's beard, Oprah Winfrey's teeth. You name it, I sell it. Look, all men of a certain age go through the same bloody thing, all right? Granted, it's not always to the same extremes that I have. Most men just have an affair or buy a Porsche or something. A midlife crisis is what your loving family will call it. That's not what I choose to call it. All I know is it's the reason I'm sat here at fucking hell, 9 o'clock talking to you, eating a cheese spread sandwich with what's-its on it instead of at home with my wife. So what fuels a midlife crisis, I hear you say in proud and happy voices? When your only son turns to you and he says, Dad, leave me alone, you fat bastard. You are utterly fucking useless. Do you know that? It gets you right here. Seems kind of trivial saying it out loud now, but it's not, is it? It's a pretty big damn fucking deal, actually. You see your kids growing up, and in that same moment you see your own youth escape you. And it doesn't help that the youth of today are so undeniably obnoxious, aren't they? Calling each other blood inmates, bruv. They've always got to have the latest gadgets, haven't they? Hey, the latest jeans, the latest trainers, the latest cars, televisions, PlayStation, FIFA, COD, whatever the fuck that is. And smartphones, that's the latest thing. My lad asked me for a smartphone, an iPhone for Christmas, right? 500 quid. It's that fucking big. Now, I'm not the best at maths, but that works out to about 50 quid an inch. Do you know what I got? A Nokia 3310. The thing is practically indestructible. I've even dropped it in my own piss. I was on the phone to my wife when we were playing England in the rugby, and I just dropped it in. All right. So what fuels a midlife crisis is not lust or boredom, as you might think. It's what's the fucking word for it now? Bravado, plain and simple. It's a chance to stick two fingers up to the youth of today. A chance for us oldies, you know, to get our own back and reclaim some of our youth. But of course, it's not the children to blame, really, is it? Let's be honest. They're not at the heart of the problem. We are, for not seizing the day. I'm not going to bore you with my woeful tale of a life not lived, but it all began on a frosty morning in the town of Glamorgan. Just kidding. Basically, I used to be a decent rugby player when I was younger. I was a fullback. Could have been the next JPR Williams, my coach told me. And after cutting my teeth in the amateurs for a few years, I decided the time was right for a change, so he got me a trial for Bridgend. And I was really excited. I got myself ready. I trained so hard for 2 weeks to get myself ready for that. It was the most enriching experience of my life. Or it probably would have been had I gone. I know what you're thinking. Are you fucking daft? Why didn't you go? Well, the truth is, I was ready to go. I mean, I've been ready for 2 hours, but I stalled. And just as I was about to go out the door, I get a phone call. It was Brenda. My first and most favourite of all my divorces. Telling me she was in the hospital. So, of course, I rushed round like every good man would do. A couple of hours later, Roger was born. My son. Apple of my eye. It's funny, isn't it, that the person I decide to give up my promising career for now thinks I'm fucking useless. And it's almost poetic that he now finds himself in the same position that I did. He's just got on a trial for St. Helens on their youth team. Very gifted player he is. Could be a scrum half. Next Gareth Edwards, so his coach tells me. And of course, the first thing he does is ring up his old man, doesn't he? He rings up for support and sort of guidance. The normal reaction to this news would have been to say, "Oh, son, do you know what? That's made my day. You've made me so proud." I, however, might have said something a little bit different. It was only a short phrase, if I remember right. I think my exact words were, "What are you, fucking gloating or something?" Yes, I am a bad man. Have you not been listening? I just kept thinking about what he said to me, you know. And before I knew it, the words slipped out of my mouth. I didn't think I was going to see him again. But then later that day I got a phone call from him. Took me much by fucking surprise, I might tell you. And he says to me that he wants to meet me at the local rugby club the following Saturday for a match. I would captain one team and he would captain the other. Sort of a family grudge match, you know, to clear the air. So of course I accepted. He let us pick our own team, so for the rest of the afternoon I tried to track down my old rugby buddies in a kind of 80s, we're putting the team back together kind of montage. To my surprise, they were all up for it. We all wanted to take part, despite bionic hips and metal plates in the head and all that shit. But the thing that really upset me was the fact that none of them had anything else better to do on a Saturday afternoon. But they all thought like I was, it was time to stick it to the young people. Pardon the phrase. So Saturday came, and we walked across that field like a majestic group of geriatric misfits. We were all silvery hair and fat, sweaty bellies, flapping in the wind, all wearing mismatching uniforms, but we wore them all with pride. We crossed that field like a fucking superhero movie slow motion clip. Until we got to the middle of the pitch and saw that Rodri's team mostly comprised of semi-professionals and other youth team members, fit and healthy and young. On paper, it was a no contest. We were really fucking shit. But then the match started and something happened. We absolutely wiped the fucking floor with them. It was glorious. We stomped around that field like the All Blacks. It was majestic, beautiful. You would have loved it. And then we finished the game, the final whistle went, and you saw the pride in all my men. They were so happy that they'd done this big deed. I don't even remember the score. It's not important, although we did win by 30 points, but still, it's not important. I was euphoric, over the moon. I went into that dressing room and I thought, this is the greatest day of my life, bar the birth of my son, obviously. That was until my friend Gwyl told me that Rodri had arranged the whole thing, down to the last detail. He'd rang all my friends before I got a chance to tell them what was going to happen. And then he told his own teammates to let us win. Let us win. And not just to let us win, to let us win convincingly, so that the euphoria was complete. I was livid. I lashed out. I'm not proud to say that I pinned my own son up against the wall, and I saw genuine fear in his eyes. And I said, what the fuck are you playing at, lad? And he simply said, your ego's been through enough these last few years, but with the failed marriages and failed jobs and such. I just wanted to do this for you to make my old man feel like a conqueror again. So I let him down from the wall, as anger gave way to absolute pride. I realised that it didn't matter how we won the game. Those feelings that we felt, they were real. And Rodri had given that to me. He sacrificed his own pride to heal my own. That was a few years ago now, and things between Rodri and I are much better. Although things aren't all that rosy, as you can see. As you can see by my lovely vintage suitcase here, it's packed full to the brim with my shitty clothes. Things with Angela didn't really work out. Another one bites the dust, eh? Some things can't be fixed. But what all this has taught me is that some things can be fixed. I suppose I better be off, really. I'm being picked up in half an hour. I realise that my son is a much better man than I. And he's going to be a much better father as well. He and his lovely girlfriend Lily, they're not having any children at the moment, but they're going to when they're ready. And that's the difference between me and him really. He wants to be a father. I never did. Wasn't ready, I told myself. Though it was just a blanket excuse really for being fucking utterly useless, I suppose. So I better be off. Like I said, they're picking me up in half an hour. They're taking me in for a few days till I get back on my feet. Apparently, I'm going to a gastro pub tomorrow, whatever the fuck that is, for a nice fish and chips. And then they've said to me that they've got tickets to go and see Gareth Bale for Wales in the football. Football. Can't have everything anyway.
Nigel, lad! Get on stage, lad. We've got to sort this out.
I just moved my sandwich.
Dirty. That's that, boys. Yeah, so I'd like to thank, I can't thank you enough, everyone, for coming. I can't thank these fucking clowns enough for just being sick. They just went to town. Like I say, I'd like to thank you all for coming. It's something that we're going to be doing every month. I'm sorry to bore you now when you probably just want a pint, but you can go and have a pint. If anyone wants to stay for a bit, I'll be downstairs, probably getting pissed even though I shouldn't, because I'm in work tomorrow. But yeah, that's it. The evening's called Mon Mon. We're on Facebook. We're doing it every single month. The videos will be going up on YouTube, etc., etc., and we're hoping to kind of carry it on. We've got Elrick August there as Nigel, who is not Welsh. We've got Mark Worley as Matty, who is Scouse as fuck. And we've got Will Coleman. I don't know what the fuck he is, but he's certainly not gay. And that's that, really. So I'd like to thank you guys. You know what I mean? For coming